Cinema Wars is a show where civility and manners are thrown out the window. It is not a conversation about film, nor is it a debate about film. It's a fight about film. We'll eliminate each individual guest one by one. Just get over to our competitors. Let's get started.
I'm Hunter Friesen.
I'm Dev Stafford.
I'm Guy Noel.
Tyler Banner.
Tristan.
Movie Fest UK.
Lucky Boy Reviews.
Luke Reviews.
Gabriel.
Right.
Lid.
Dawn.
I'm Big J from Agnolo.
A winner is going to be Agnolo. I cannot believe you've won 2 times in a row.
We did it.
The faction champion!
Loads of fun, and I'm happy to win again.
Oh shit! I don't even know what to say.
Woo! CINEMAWARS, champion of the world!
Come on, anyone want some?
I'm very happy. Heck yeah. I like being introduced as that.
World CINEMAWARS champion, it's me! 75%. Let's just calm down here.
Oh, it's my turn. Now I'm gonna have to go after you.
You guys lost.
This is a goddamn street fight.
That's pathetic.
Face was as flat as a pancake.
Turn the tide! Hey!
Being eliminated for voting Netflix as the best streaming service is complete bullshit.
Dev here.
Dev.
Listen, don't think you're just gonna get a free pass because you're letting Agnolo do all the arguing for your door.
I am not.
You didn't make a point.
Best picture.
That's crazy.
You know who's done that? Okay, no.
Walk away.
Actually really pissed.
What in the actual hell? That's how a debate goes. Maybe you should try it next time.
My argument was better than fucking Lucky Boys. Who the fuck is this woman?
It's not like you sit here and tell lies.
I cannot remember what you said.
I was offended.
What the fuck, yo?
Me.
My second pleasure.
No!
One, we came to win.
Welcome everyone to the League of Cinephiles. I'm your host Alex Holman, bringing you more sim-related competition. Today we have another event in our Movie Mania series of events. It's the one you've all been waiting for, our big CINEMAWARS Battle Royale. For context, the most we've ever done in a CINEMAWARS matchup, the most we've had in a match is 7. And today and tomorrow we will have a total of 28 people competing. Before I get to the rules, let me get over to my co-host. He is the leader of the Nice Guys and former CINEMAWARS champion, Tristan French. Now, Tristan, how are you doing on this beautiful day?
I'm doing good. Thanks for having me. I'm very excited for this. I've been anticipating it for a long time.
Yes, so now let's just go ahead and talk about the matchup right away. We obviously have our big guns, you, Agnolo, Movie Fest, myself, the only 4 former champions. We also have Guy Noel, Lucky Boy Reviews, the usual suspects when it comes to CINEMAWARS. Who do you think can surprise us out of the 28 competitors that have been announced so far? Obviously, we have some that haven't been announced yet, some that the other competitors don't know are competing.
Well, one that has competed in CINEMAWARS before, and I think could pull off the win is Dev Stafford. Depending on his number. If he's in day 2, he's one that I think has been each argument he comes in with gets stronger and stronger and stronger. And I think that he could end up pulling off a win here. So I have my eye on him. Like you mentioned before, Guy, I think he's really strong here. So he could end up winning. But yeah, I've got my eye on the watchers. I think one of them could end up easily pulling it off.
And then obviously we're going to have some factions that, come into play here, alliances, that kind of stuff. And then some people I'm looking out for. I mean, the silent killer has got to be Nikita. Nikita has been very ruthless. I mean, Movie Fest called him out in his first Among Us match, saying that Nikita loves to stir the pot. That's what he said. I mean, Movie Fest is a great judge of character, and he said it himself. Nikita loves to stir the pot. He loves to point fingers and then stand back and let everyone else, fight themselves. So I think he really has a great shot here. And then also another one you got to look out for, our special guest, Brando Critic. One of the special guests that have been announced so far. I mean, depending on what number he's going to be entering it today or tomorrow, he could surprise us. I mean, his channel's amazing. If you haven't already, subscribe to his channel, Brando Critic on YouTube. So, I think he could surprise us. But again, there are so many people, anybody could win, really. For sure, yeah.
Brando Critic's one I'm really watching out for because we've seen him compete in trivia. And if you watch his videos, he's very well spoken.
So the rules for the Battle Royale. There will be 5 competitors in the arena at the same time. Each round, there will be a random sim-related prompt that will be chosen. And then once that prompt is chosen, competitors will have up to 1 minute to come up with their answer, come up with all their supporting evidence that they want to gather, and then write down their answer for the round. Once everyone's written down their answers and they've shown it to the other competitors, we'll have just an 8-minute debate for the competitors in the competition. After the round is over, the competitors in the arena will vote to eliminate the person who they think did the worst in that round in terms of their debating, in terms of their argument, that type of stuff. And then after the person is eliminated, we'll have the next person who comes in the competition. This will happen until all 28 people have played in the match. So let's get over to our first competitor, our number 1 entrant. Entering the arena to Batman 1989, representing Gone with the Wind, Quick Draw Dave! Dave, how are you doing today in your first Cinema Wars matchup?
I'm ready to go, man. I'm going to be the Shawn Michaels of this thing. I'm going to take it all the way to the end, make sure both feet don't touch the floor, and move on to tomorrow.
All right, now let's get over to our number 2 entrant. Entering the arena to the theme of the Untouchables. He is 1/3 of the Season 1 faction champions, the Watchers. Guy the Barbarian.
I was, as soon as I was on, I was like, "You talking to me? You know, you talking to me? It's gonna be awesome."
I'll recut it. Don't worry.
Great.
All right, let's just get to entrant number 3. Entering the arena to the theme of Pirates of the Caribbean. He is the 6'8" movie critic from Vancouver, Canada, and host of the Brando Show, the Brando Critic.
I'm feeling pretty good, man. Alex and Tristan, good to see you. Thanks for that shout out, man. I really do appreciate that. And yeah, I'm happy to be here. And I love that intro that you guys made, by the way, of all the trash talk of everybody on different shows. So I got a little bit of trash talk. Dave, you know, you want your arguments to be steady. I sure hope they are. Hopefully they're more steady than your microphone. And Guy, you said, "Oh, you talking to me?" We should be asking, "Are you talking to us?" But anyways, all joking aside, I'm happy to be here, guys. Dave, Guy, good to see you guys, and let's have some fun.
Let's get to number 4. Entering the arena to Rocky 4, representing the Hunt, the Quick Critic.
Ready to do this, ready to fuck shit up.
Entering the arena to Hereditary for some weird reason. He is the new League of Cinephiles member from Zach Loves Everything on Instagram, Zach!
Hey guys.
Yes, you chose Hereditary. Is that a metaphor for things to come?
Oh yes, I'm going to be reborn into something new.
Let's get started on our first prompt. The prompt has already been randomly chosen. Again, you'll have 1 minute to come up with an answer. Who is the worst actor out of the Zack Snyder Justice League cast or the regular Justice League cast? Same thing. Ray Fisher, Jason Momoa.
It says Gal Gadot. I don't know if you can see it.
Jared Leto.
Oh my goodness. Okay,
Whoa.
That's not part of it. Okay. I guess I'll count it.
On technicality, Gal Gadot and Jason Momoa have some type of personality. Jared Leto is just trying to be 3 Jokers into one. He's not that great of an actor besides Dallas Buyers Club, which he won the Oscar for, but he just kind of hasn't done really anything memorable besides that.
I picked Gal Gadot. And the reason why I picked her, you know, I think she is the least real acting credibility of all the other characters. And I think really she just has to be beautiful, and she does that well. But outside of that, there's really nothing memorable for me about Gal Gadot.
Outside of Aquaman, he is best suited as a supporting player rather than a lead. The reason I feel that he gets all this praise for the Aquaman character is because of the Aquaman character itself, not his performance.
Yeah, I'm going to jump onto that because I chose Jason Momoa as well. And I agree with what you said. Like, my reasoning is that he's a very one-note actor. Like, we've seen some of these other actors in the Zack Snyder Justice League go on to do other genres. Like, can you imagine Jason Momoa in like an Oscar drama? I've seen the man in person. The guy's gorgeous. Like, I swear to God, the guy is just, those eyes are amazing. I'm not docking on his looks, man. I'm jealous. But in terms of acting ability, he's very one note.
Let's just wait for Frosty the Snowman.
I think you're right, man. I think you're right.
If you all are talking about their bodies of work, Ray Fisher has no body of work. We had never seen him before until Justice League. And I honestly, a lot of people love the character of Cyborg and like how he kind of was the heart of Snyder Cut, but I think that's the writing.
Just because he has no other body of work and he has this one role, I think all of us agree that he was not the worst part of this movie.
He was the best part.
So he has no other. It's kind of like if you play one game, you know, in the NFL and you get a touchdown, you know, and then you're undefeated and you never play a game again. It's like, well, I've won the one game, never lost anything. So it's a perfect stat.
I actually was looking at Emma Stone's career yesterday. Look at her first performance in Superbad. Would you say that, you know, she would be an Oscar winner less than 10 years later? No, but she was good enough. And one of the highlights of Superbad to get her another role.
So I'm actually a really big Jason Momoa fan. I could see him being like the next Arnold, where, yeah, he's typecast, but he's typecast so well. He has personality, and that goes a long way. Same with Gal Gadot. I actually really like 84 personally, and she showed a lot more emotion there. And then the first Wonder Woman movie, so I just see as Jared Leto, he kind of just overacts everything.
Gal Gadot actually has improved. Like, I must say that Wonder Woman 1984, say what you will about that movie, she really puts in a lot of emotion at certain points.
So just real quick, I would rebut against Jared Leto just because his role in the Snyder Cut was so small. Jared Leto just objectively is a better actor than probably a lot of the people in that film, period.
All right, so that's going to end it. So now vote for the person you think should be eliminated based on that round. Very interesting. A lot of twists and turns.
Quick critic.
Guy.
Sorry, Guy. I went with the same.
Oh,
same
shit,
thing.
I'm out.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I picked Guy again. I'm sorry.
No, I actually went with Leto.
All right, so Guy, you came in. This is one of the big guns, one of the big ones coming in here. Any last words as you are eliminated first?
Yeah, this is embarrassing. Oh.
And YOLO will not be
a beer.
happy with him. All right, so let's get to entrant number 6. Entering for some reason to Synecdoche, New York. He was part of the original League of Cinephiles and my film club in high school, Excel.
Hey, Alex, great to be here.
The next prompt, you'll have 1 minute. What is a movie that everyone hates that you love unabashedly?
Batman and Robin.
Captain Marvel.
Wonder Woman 1984.
All right, not like you just talked about that 2 minutes ago.
Exactly, right?
Critic.
The New Mutants.
Kingsman, The Golden Circle.
Batman and Robin. Why do I love it so much? I look at it this way. He wanted to create a movie that can sell toys. And when we look at Batman and Robin, that's exactly what was created. Now, the argument can be made, it still sucks. Okay, cool. But when we look back at Adam West's Batman 66, we are looking at that same vibe. We're looking at a comedic comic book show. I laugh, I have a good time, and that is why it's one of my guilty pleasures.
I know that a lot of people like the first Kingsman movie, but I like the sequel just as much because it really doubles down on everything that the original had, right? It has the same crazy action that the original does. It has the insane jokes, crazy cameos, over-the-top nature, the crazy action, and the amazing score. It has all the same elements that worked in the first one, but I still feel like people were a bit too harsh on it.
I chose The New Mutants. The story was really good. I really thought the VFX were excellent as well. And one thing I look for in a film is, like, does it have a through line, right? And does it have a message that really makes sense from beginning to end? And I really personally identified with the notion that, you know, we all have two animals inside of us, right? One that represents like negativity and one that represents positivity, or however you want to describe that kind of yin and yang type of concept, right? The main character of Janie Moonstar really portrayed that really well, and I thought it was a really poignant story.
I went with Wonder Woman 1984. So when I grew up on Sam Raimi's Spider-Man. And that's the exact same feel I had with 84. Just how emotional it was. I found it more emotional than the first Wonder Woman movie. Kristen Wiig as Cheetah was one of the most perfect castings to me. And when you see that final reveal, the up-close shot of her and like the big, like the teeth and like the makeup, is gorgeous to me. She just kills in this character.
Captain Marvel. I liked how they introduced the Skrulls of all people. Yes. And the twist that the Kree were really the aggressors in the Kree Skull Skrull conflict. I think that was pretty magnificent, because whenever I read the comics, they're like the Kree and the Skrulls are usually on the same boat. The one thing that irks me was the hate for Brie Larson too. I mean, she was just playing a character, like, and honestly, I didn't see Captain Marvel as bland or anything.
Yeah, I don't see Kingsman 2 being a most hated movie, and also with Captain Marvel. Yeah, Captain Marvel, there's like a select few that despise that movie, but it still has a fresh rating around Tomatoes. It's still, it's a Marvel movie. It made $1 billion.
I don't think any Marvel movie is hated per se. Batman and Robin, I understand that a lot of people, they feel it's like it's like the small kid on the playground to make fun of. But then I'd say that the argument for Captain Marvel, where it's like, I don't get the hate for Brie Larson, she's just playing a character. I feel like with that argument, then we can't criticize any performance ever. You know what I mean? Oh, well, I'm just playing a character. I'm just doing my job. It's like, well, I feel like it's unjust criticism and, going after her family and saying mean things to her on Twitter and stuff. That's obviously ridiculous. But I'd say that she's just playing a character, and that you'd like to see a sequel is not a sufficient enough argument for me to say that Captain Marvel, or at least Brie Larson, did a good job in that movie.
Yeah, so, Wonder Woman 84, my thing is, I know we've talked about it a lot. It really just felt like a pastiche of better superhero movies. It really didn't stand out in any way. You made a comment that you thought Kristen Wiig was a great casting choice as Cheetah. I thought she was horrible, and I really didn't get that choice. I thought the fight choreography from the two was really wonky and really just not good, and just overall the movie just felt very samey. And considering that it came out in, I believe, 2020, you're comparing it to Catwoman and to Batman. Those movies came out a long time ago, where we didn't have a lot of the experience and the knowledge and kind of things to pull from, as far as like we're trying to make movies better.
All right, so that's gonna do it. Now vote for the person you think should be eliminated.
So I'm sorry to be picking on you, buddy, but I'm picking Zach again, and it's not you, man. It's just that movie. But yeah, I'm gonna go Wonder Woman 84. I just thought that movie was dog shit. I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
Let's go to Brando Critic.
I'm going XL Woods.
Yeah, I picked Captain Marvel.
I mean, I gotta say, Kingsman 2. I'm sorry.
So I went with Wonder Woman 84, Zach. So
my goodness!
So
wow! So we have our first big moment as Excel Woods and Zach are both going to get eliminated.
It was an honor to be here.
Yeah, sorry, man. I'll buy you a beer.
Okay.
He's got a running tab for everyone that gets eliminated. So
yeah,
I hope I'm gonna
Molson
get a
Canadian sending your way.
I'm shocked I even made it past the first round. So this is really cool. This is really fun, and yeah, y'all are all great at debating. That was really fun.
You guys are getting to know each other pretty well. We have a big three over here. 7th entrant. Coming to the arena to the theme of King Kong 1933. He is the #1 fan of the League of Cinephiles and the first fan of the League of Cinephiles, Jack Reynolds.
The superior version of King Kong, that is.
Let's go over to our 8th entrant. Entering the arena to the theme of Rocky, representing the 4 Angry Men. He is one half of my film trivia class duo team,
No better entrance music, guys. I tell you.
You keep telling yourself that.
We're going to stick with the DC theme here. Besides Robert Pattinson, who would have been your #1 choice to play Batman?
Made an interesting choice. I went with Bill Hader.
John Hamm.
Jake Gyllenhaal.
Army Hammer.
All right, that's an awkward one.
That was my original pick, but then I realized it could never happen. So,
and Gall.
Okay, I'm going with the star of the new Eternals, Richard Madden.
Bill Hader, as we know, is primarily a comedian, but if any of you guys have seen the show Barry, he's able to do a lot more like serious toned. The character of Bruce Wayne as like a businessman, kind of like unsuspecting. I think Bill Hader just kind of has like that deadpan like acting style. I do think that he has like a dark sense of creative style.
So I went with Jake Gyllenhaal, and the reason why I chose Jake is, he commits to every role he's in. He has the jawline, obviously. He has the acting chops. We know he can get jacked if he needs to from that boxing movie he did. I forget the name, but where he just got where he just got shredded. And I think playing Batman to the point that I think Jack made a little bit is you need to have a little bit of like craziness / darkness to you, and I feel like Jake Gyllenhaal really brings that to the bear.
I went with Armie Hammer. He's got the jawline, he's got the build, he's got the low voice, he's very charming, he's very dashing, very good looking, and he can, he's built, so I could totally believe him in those action sequences. And yes, when people say, oh, it's a bit awkward now with Armie Hammer, sure, he's canceled in the real world, but I don't think that would play any part in his portrayal as Batman.
So I went John Hamm on my end for a few reasons I just wrote down. So essentially, he already auditioned to play Bruce Wayne when he took the role of Don Draper on Mad Men. He played an obsessive workaholic, which is essentially Bruce Wayne. QC mentioned the look itself. John Hamm has the physique, has the look that would be a perfect Bruce Wayne.
I went with Richard Madden. If you don't know him, he's had some famed performances in Rocket Man and the show Bodyguard, and he was in Game of Thrones. And I think in those 3 performances, if you combine the 3, you could get the perfect guy. And I think he looks the part. And I think him doing the Batman voice would be great.
I would not want to get into a fight with Armie Hammer. I wouldn't want to get into a fight with Jake Gyllenhaal, John Madden, or John Hamm or Richard Madden. Bill Hader, Bill Hader's coming up to, he's like, a Batman. I'm a skinny motherfucker. I could knock that guy out too. So I don't find him intimidating.
We're also talking like with like the Batman. So like he's probably got like gadgets to be able to like.
Sure. But still, I don't find Bill Hader intimidating.
Yeah, I'll piggyback on that. I love Bill Hader, one of my favorite actors. I loved him in the Barry. But and there's some precedent for hiring an actor who has comedic background with Michael Keaton. He turned it around and did a really great job. So there's precedent for that. But with Bill Hader, I don't know. I don't feel like he has the physicality for the role, and I have a hard time seeing him in the cowl.
When I heard Bill Hader talking in a Batman voice, all I would think of is Stefan from Saturday Night Live. And so I don't see him like doing the voice or being like a Bruce Wayne guy. John Hamm, I think, could be a good Batman, but like I feel like him being a Bruce Wayne will only fit if he was like really comedic.
Bruce Wayne is a billionaire playboy. Who embodies that more than John Hamm?
Well, you don't want to cast him in the exact same role.
But you'd also I mean, then your argument toward the Bill Hader goes to shit, because if you want someone comedic, there's Bill Hader. So you can't have both.
No, but what I'm saying is I think he's had too much of a reputation from SNL to just be like a serious crime-fighting guy who lost his parents.
I mean, there's also like Steve Carell, who like you watch like The Big Short and Foxcatcher, and I don't think of The Office. I get sucked into it. Same thing with Barry. Like at first you're like,
would you see Steve Carell as Batman?
Yeah, he's not playing Batman though.
My point is Bill Hader.
I'm saying the point is like I think it is possible for people to set like the comedy like impressions aside.
So I appreciate the shades inside that swaggy bro, but I'm sorry, I'm going Bill Hader.
I went Brando critic.
Oh, I was just gonna say Bill Hader.
Yeah, man. Sorry, good arguments, but I went with Bill Hader as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think
I gotta say Bill Hader. Sorry, bro.
I get that. You all made valid arguments, and it was fun while it lasted.
Brando was your beer.
Yes, right. Yes. I mean, if anyone's going out for a beer, it's you 3. It's you 3 here since the beginning. Entrant number 9. Entering the arena to the theme of Mission Impossible. She was part of the first League of Cinephiles and my first film club in high school, CINEMAWARS.
Hi, nice to meet everybody. Really glad to be here.
We have 3 strong competitors here, and Gaul is here as well. Sorry, Gaul, I couldn't think of anything else to say about you. Now, let's go to our next prompt. You have 1 minute on the clock. Who is the best movie villain of all time?
It's pretty intense so far. I'm really impressed with Dave, Brando, and QC. I think they're all killing it.
Dave, the only person so far who no one has voted for so far.
Heath Ledger's Joker.
Exact same thing.
Darth Vader.
I knew that people were going to double dip on this one, but the Joker from The Dark Knight.
So I also went with the Joker, but I went with the Joker overall. I went with the Joker overall for this reason. So while Heath Ledger's performance is one of my favorite performances of all time, I think it's one of the best supporting actor wins of all time. The reason I went for the Joker is looking at something like The Killing Joke, where the Joker looks at his origin story and says it's all multiple choice. With the character of the Joker as a villain, every portrayal, even Jared Leto's, is different. It's unique. It brings something new to the table. The best out of them all is Ledger's Joker for the reason that, you know, he is, to me, someone that could live in the real world today as someone with a PTSD.
I went with the Joker from The Dark Knight only because he's the complete antithesis of Batman. Batman personifies justice and order. He personifies chaos and anarchy. And he plays to our one hero's weakness. Batman cannot kill him because physically it's not even a matchup. Batman can just snap his neck, but he cannot kill. And the one line I love is, "You have nothing to threaten me with." He's intimidating. He's menacing, he's threatening. And the one question that I always look for villains is when the audience goes, how can we defeat this guy? When you genuinely think and you doubt that the hero can actually do it, I think is when you got a great villain. He's always 2 steps ahead of Batman. The performance, again, it was transformative. It was legendary. I got to go with Heath Ledger's version of the Joker.
So I'm going with Heath Ledger's Joker is, when we talk about villains, we often say who has the most sympathetic motive, right? But the Joker has no motive. And that's honestly what's scariest about him. He's unpredictable and he just wants chaos. There's no reasoning with the guy. Batman wants to protect the innocents, but Joker, he wants people to hurt.
What I like specifically about his performance is, one, he's really unstable, which is fun for everybody to watch. I know this isn't like specifically about him, but I think that his like costume and his physical appearance is like also adds like the unstable, like maniacal, like really well. Whereas like the Jared Leto version, like maybe not as great on that. I think he really has the look down. I love the way that he talks in this movie. Like, I think that maybe it's not super common for a superhero or a villain to talk like that, but I think that he does a great job.
The reason why I chose Darth Vader is because it's really the tragedy of him and the pain and the sadness that he experienced, and the fact that really you can relate to what he went through as far as losing his mom and feeling like he was going to lose Padme, and ultimately, you know, he is redeemed, and we can relate to that as human beings. And I feel like while Joker is a psychopathic murderer, Darth Vader is a murderer, maybe not psychopathic, arguably is also psychopathic, but they're both murderers. But really the one that I feel most of us can relate to and kind of understand the arc of why he did what he did and ultimately became a villain is Darth Vader.
But if I do had to, you know, put a chink on that armor, it's those prequels, that origin. I personally think that Anakin Skywalker, Darth Vader, you put them together, he was easily manipulated to join the dark side. He essentially in Revenge of the Sith, Sidious was basically telling him, I am the Sith Lord, and he just took a blind eye to it. And then when he did find out that he was a Sith Lord, he basically 5 minutes later is like, you know what? I'm good. I'm gonna kill Mace Windu. I'm gonna join the dark side.
In the originals, like, Vader was seduced by the dark side of the Force, but in the prequels, he was tricked into doing it. You know what I mean? So watching the prequels definitely puts a damper on the Darth Vader storyline. Like, he's still a menacing villain, but he's definitely not as menacing when you just see a little 6-year-old boy going, "Yippee! Are you an angel?" All my life. Whereas the Joker definitely has a lot more mystery. You know, his backstory changes to different people.
Yeah, so I would definitely, I would go with Joker as the best comic book movie villain of all time, 100%. But I think as far as this general best movie villain, which is what this argument is about, I think Darth Vader overall is more iconic from a broader appeal standpoint. And I just think Darth Vader, he's just, when you think of movie villains, if you just ask him, like, pick a movie villain, you give him 5 seconds, a lot of people of any ages, any gender, they're going to say Darth Vader probably before they say the Joker.
Yeah, I love Darth Vader, but think about it. Every Joker performance is pretty acclaimed. Like Nicholson, Heath Ledger, and Joaquin Phoenix, and even Mark Hamill, the voice. But if you look at Hayden Christensen, the fan base is very divided over that performance over 2 movies.
Hayden plays Anakin. While he does wear the suit sometimes, the Darth Vader character is
the same
multiple
person.
People. Like David Prowse.
Well, he became crowned as Darth Vader by then. After he kills Windu, he says, "You are now Darth Vader," or whatever.
Oh, we have a mini Star Wars debate going on over here. All right. So now get the person you think should be eliminated.
I think this might have been the strongest round. Those were
very strong rounds. Good
really
arguments.
Everyone kind of firing on all cylinders.
Sorry, buddy. I'm going with Dave for Joker as a whole. Only because, like, we all had to choose one performance, right? Whereas going with the Joker of the whole, you didn't really talk about Jared Leto too much.
Because I was cut off.
Oh, technicality.
Not technicality. Not technicality. Reality. I got cut off. I actually went with Vader on that one.
Dave, you seem like an awesome guy, but gotta go with you. Sorry, bro.
I thought I was gonna be alone. I thought I was gonna be alone.
Oh my goodness!
So I'm sorry, I went Dave as well, and the reason let me tell you the reason why is I think that saying the Joker overall includes a lot of performances that aren't very good.
Yeah, I said Dave too. I'm really sorry. It's just really broad. I feel like if you had made it more specific, your argument probably would have been stronger.
There it is, another huge shocker, Tristan.
Wow.
Dave, the only person who hadn't gotten a vote for him in any of the previous rounds, gets all four in one round. Any last words?
No. Good luck to everyone.
Brando and QC, the only two individuals who've survived since the beginning of the competition. Let's get to entrant number 10. Entering the arena to the theme of Lord of the Rings, The Two Towers, representing First Reviews, James!
What's going on? I was watching that last one. I would have voted everyone out who said the Joker. We needed more creativity there. We needed more creativity on the villain.
Who is the most promising young / up-and-coming actor working today? Because you said to me, you said Dave was one of the strongest ones coming into this competition.
Yeah, I was thinking Dave and Brando were going to make it very far, like all the way. But that was a shocker. Yeah.
Very well done from QC, holding off the 4 Joker arguments. Very well done.
Does Awkwafina count as up and coming?
Yeah.
I'm McKenna Grace. I don't know if you guys know who she is.
That's a great pick.
Thomasin McKenzie.
Timothy Chalamet.
So I choose Millicent Simmons. She's in Quiet Place.
I'll start with Timothy Chalamet. He's already getting some Oscar buzz, and he's only 25 years old. Like, he's been in Call Me by Your Name, Little Women, Lady Bird, Beautiful Boy. He's been in a lot of prestigious movies, a lot of Oscar bait movies. And now with Dune, right, he's now getting into like a big blockbuster action franchise. If that takes off, then I think that Timothy Chalamet will become a household name.
Awkwafina, I know she's a Golden Globe winner, and you all probably know who she is. But I do think she's up and coming because she's not recognizable. Like you said, Timothy Chalamet, not a household name yet. And so I think with both Jumanji and Crazy Rich Asians and the more wide appeal stuff, and Raya and the Last Dragon, the voice performance, she's shown how much comedic chops she's had and how much charm and charisma she has. She's a joy to watch on screen.
The category is young and up and coming. You know, she's young, she's a teenager, she's up and coming in the context that the average person probably wouldn't know her name. I certainly wouldn't have known her name if I hadn't just seen Quiet Place 2 a few nights ago. And, you know, really, I mean, I don't know if you guys have seen Quiet Place 1 and 2, but her performance in both those movies really carries the film. And, you know, she is deaf in real life. And I think representation is really important. And I think the fact that you have somebody who is representing a group that doesn't normally get a lot of shine in Hollywood or really in general, when you think about kind of like pop culture, entertainment type stuff, you know, she's kind of carrying that bag. And I personally really appreciate that. And above and beyond the fact that she's deaf, she just did an amazing job in the film.
I said Thomasin McKenzie. If you watch Jojo Rabbit or Leave No Trace, she's absolutely incredible in both of them. Leave No Trace is, well, it's obviously an amazing film, first of all, but her role in it as like the daughter there who's trying to break away basically from her father was just an incredible performance. Not like quite in the mainstream yet. Like, yes, had some big movies like that, but I wouldn't say like at that like spot where it's like she's hit that like A-list kind of part. It's still definitely on the rise.
Cool. So I chose McKenna Grace. Not sure how many of you guys have heard of her, but I'm just going to list a couple of things that she's been in. She's like a phenomenal actress, and she's only 14. And most of the roles that she's done have been in like the first 10 years of her life. So she's both a voice actor from Scoob and also in a whole bunch of other like Disney stuff that you like Mickey Mouse Clubhouse. She's in Young Sheldon. She also was the star in Gifted. She was younger Captain Marvel. She's very well known for like doing younger versions of actresses. She's also just in the new season of Handmaid's Tale. Got all this stuff. She's got the dramatic acting. She got the horror acting. She can do voice acting, and she's only 14.
My case against Timothy Chalamet and also Awkwafina is that I feel like, to me, young means you're not an adult, and to me, Timothy Chalamet and Awkwafina are adults. So just point blank. And then also up and coming to me also means that you're not really that well known.
Sorry, let me just point out it's young and or up and coming because there's a slash in the question.
Okay. So to me, they're neither. So they're not up and coming because to me, up and coming means you're not well known. Both have hosted SNL. You've hosted Saturday Night Live. Like the majority of the world knows who you are. So again, in the grand scheme, they're up and coming, sure, but they're really known already. Whereas I feel like the other people that we've named, myself and the other two, are people who aren't really quite as well known.
Yeah, I'm with QC there in the up and coming kind of category with like Timothée Chalamet and Awkwafina. I would say Chalamet, if anything, actually is A-list already, just based on the movies.
That's how I would describe him.
Yeah, I completely agree with that.
I'd say I understand the promising young part. I get like he's still pretty young.
I would argue this. Ask any cinephile who Timothée Chalamet is, they would know. Ask any rando on the street if they know who Timothée Chalamet is. I don't think anyone's going to know who that is. In terms of just a random on the street, not cinephile, you know, he's not in the same realm as a Harrison Ford.
Wait, but have you heard like
as a Robert De
Niro.
Niro.
Like John Mulaney's stand-up where he's like, "Oh, my wife is always talking about Timothée Chalamet." Like even John Mulaney's wife knows who he is. He's in stand-up routines, so like everyone knows who he is.
I wouldn't say everyone though. He's not a household name yet. In terms of cinephiles, yes. But not in terms of the biggest one. So I'd say that he's promising. And because he's so close,
I think he's made it.
I would say he's the most promising because now he's going to be in this big franchise. So in terms of that cusp of becoming like A-list, I think he's getting the closest. So I would say he's the most promising.
All right, so that's going to do it. Now vote for the person you think should be eliminated.
I'll go QC. I don't know how many roles are going to be there for deaf actresses. You know, I'm just, I wish there was. But I still don't think that Hollywood will automatically go like, oh, we're going to need to have a deaf role in all these major movies.
QC, I just got to go with you. I just haven't seen her as much as the others.
I went Brando.
So I go Brando as well.
Shayna.
Yeah, I had to go with Brando because I just Timothée Chalamet's way too up there already.
Every girl my age is like always talking about him. Like I know so many people who are like, oh my God, Timothée Chalamet.
Maybe it's because I'm not American. Maybe I'm just because I'm a foreigner. We don't get cable in our igloos. Sorry. Who's this Timothée Chalamet guy? I don't fucking understand there, guys. All you Americans with your little pretty boys and your SNL. I don't fucking understand it. Like, what the fuck's going on? Anyway,
I'm Canadian too.
I get it.
Yeah, as a Canadian, I'll back you up on that.
It was a long run here. It was a long run.
Yeah.
You're number 3.
I almost brought Q down with the ship. I almost brought him down with me. I'm going to be drinking a lot of beer. No, thanks for having me on, guys, and good to meet everybody. It was a fun. I lasted a lot longer than I thought I did. So yeah, no. In all seriousness,
I just want to say, I really like your YouTube and chatting with you on Instagram.
Thanks, buddy. I appreciate it. Again, it was nice talking to everybody, and yeah, I'll see you guys soon.
Thank you for coming on, Brando. Make sure to subscribe to his channel on YouTube if you haven't already. Now, QC, you're the only person left from the beginning of the competition. How are you feeling right now?
I feel good, man. I've been sitting here for an hour and a half. Need a drink. Can we get a pee break?
All right, so now let's get to entrant number 11. Entering the arena to the theme of Parasite, he was the first co-host of the Helmer's Movie Mania podcast and the first ever Film Trivia Clash Champion, Alex. Oh!
What's up, guys? What's up? I gotta say, thank you guys for voting off Brando. I mean, Timothée Chalamet is a household name. My mom knows who Timothée Chalamet is.
I don't know. Maybe they don't like Chalamet in Canada or something. I don't know.
Our prompt is going to be a little different. It's going to be a picture, so I'm going to share my screen. It's going to be picture-based. Do you want to say it out loud?
Number five.
I'm going with number 3.
7.
I'm going to go 7 as well.
Number 1.
So I went with 5 just because I think it's the most diverse. I think Spike Lee has the social commentary, and then Nolan has like the technical achievements, and Tarantino just has like the action and the unpredictability in the storytelling. So a lot of diversity there, and I think they could have a really amazing conversation.
So I picked, maybe these aren't my favorite directors necessarily, but I think the ones that play off of each other the best. So you've got David Lynch, George Lucas, and Del Toro. And I think Lynch and Lucas are a really interesting pair because Lynch is like totally anti-mainstream, right? He does stuff that nobody really understands or cares about. They're like, he does his own thing. Lucas wanted to do that, but he got sucked into the whole Star Wars world. And then Lynch also like tried to break into mainstream with like Dune, but it failed. So like they're kind of opposites of each other. And then Del Toro with his creations, he kind of fits into both their worlds.
Yeah, I chose 7 as well. I think, Lynch is kind of known for doing the more non-mainstream stuff, to Alex's point. And then you have George Lucas, who is pretty much known for almost entirely doing mainstream films. And then you have Del Toro, who falls somewhere in the middle as far as having done mainstream films like Blade 2 and Hellboy 2. But then films are a little bit more off the beaten path, like a Pan's Labyrinth or a Devil's Backbone. All really great movies, and I think all three directors, have a claim to being at the top of their fields. And then I also think with Del Toro specifically, he's one of the few he's one of the few directors working today which really has a focus on practical effects.
Chose number one. It was Scorsese, Waititi, and Snyder. So when I saw best discussion, and I just thought of sitting with a pure class act that's like Scorsese, old school, like been around forever. And then I just thought of, having him there with like Snyder. It was like this new type of like style and a big cinematography guy. And then I felt like Waititi was perfect because he's like more newer to the industry and he's like fun. He's super fun to have around. So I was like, best discussion. I'm like, that table would be like exciting and fun and they'd be having a good time.
So I chose table 3, which was Fincher, Joon-ho, and Gerwig. Fincher and Joon-ho both kind of have very similar, like suspenseful, like gritty, dark kind of films. And also they're both masters of like really interesting, intricate plots. On the other hand, Joon-ho and Gerwig both do like great at comedy, maybe slightly different comedy, but definitely like more subtle. And then also Gerwig, of course, like one of the few female directors on this entire list. I think that she'd be a great person to have a discussion with, incorporating like good depictions of women in film.
Lee, Tarantino, and Nolan, just like I said, they bring 3 different aspects that they're known for, and I just think that would be amazing.
I'm the opposite on that one. I think Lee, Nolan, and Tarantino, that's definitely a table I wouldn't want to be at. I feel like I like Lee actually, but I feel like Nolan and Tarantino would be like impossible to have discussions with. They seem like Tarantino's like too into like himself and his creative juices, and Nolan seems probably like
the guy's hilarious.
Yeah, it would be like fun in certain aspects, but I saw it as like the best discussion, and I felt like with a Nolan or a Tarantino, I feel like they wouldn't be having a great discussion. I feel like Spike Lee didn't try to have a great
I also don't know if they don't have much to like talk about. I feel like they're come from different worlds. Like Nolan, like a British like director, he doesn't know anything about like what Tarantino or Lee are talking about.
Yeah, what would they talk to Spike Lee about?
Tarantino and Lee are like have very different views. I feel like on like race, like I don't think they might not vibe together, and then like. Tarantino in general is just going to be like the socially awkward guy at the table. Like he's probably going to dominate the discussion, talk about like his foot fetish or whatever. I don't think that discussion would go well.
So that's going to end the round. Everybody write the obvious name of the person they're going to eliminate.
Honestly, they were all better than mine, so I just went Shayna.
Shayna, who did you vote for?
Well, who do you think I voted for? now I have a good reason for it. So
Gal, I went for Gal.
But I did unfortunately go with James just because I felt like the argument he presented just wasn't as strong.
So Gal, you lasted pretty long, number 8. You lasted 3 rounds.
In the words of the man from my intro, it ain't about how hard you hit, it's about how hard you get hit and keep moving forward.
All right. Gal always has the best last words before entering. He's the best at that. So let's get to our number 12 entrant, the last of the day, QC Man. MVP so far, lasting 7 straight rounds.
I need a drink.
Entering the arena to Robin Hood, Prince of Peace, representing the 4 Angry Men. Lucky Boy Reviews coming out of the shadows.
Oh shit. I thought I timed the light better. QC, good God, man. Just keep rolling through.
Sorry, let me just...
Please be horror movie stuff.
What is the most overrated Pixar film?
Shout out to Gala and Shayna too. They've been doing really well.
They've lasted pretty long. Yeah.
So I think I actually had this question before.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
I did too.
Yeah, it was like,
we were on together.
That's right. Yeah, and I was like, man, it's still difficult, and I'm still gonna. I think I'm just going with the same answer I had before, which was Pixar most recent was Soul.
I'm gonna go with Toy Story 4.
Finding Dory.
I'm going with Toy Story 2.
Finding Nemo.
All right, so let's go.
Soul was still a great movie, but like I said, I was kind of disappointed with the music in it, like the jazz aspect of it. I wanted like soul music. I wanted like Sam Cooke, Otis Redding. Like I wanted like real like soul music, especially when I heard that it was going to be called Soul. And then I was pretty underwhelmed by the music. The whole second of the film that where he's a cat, like he embodied like a cat. I was like, I get it's a kid's movie and it's silly, but I don't know. I just think Inside Out was in the same realm as Soul and just did such a better job.
So I went to go see Toy Story 4 in theaters actually with some people when it first came out. And I will admit, like, when I watched it, I did cry in the theater. So, like, that's kind of like points against me. But once I reflected on it, like, I was more sad about the whole show, like the franchise ending, than actually like what was in the movie. I honestly thought there was a bad ending. I wish they'd stopped after 3. I personally just really didn't like how Woody would left his friends to go like be with his girlfriend. I just thought that was like a really lame way to finish it off.
You know, I chose Finding Nemo, and I know it's probably going to offend some people. The reason why I chose Finding Nemo, right? So for me, overrated means, you know, it's generally universally praised, it's overhyped, like everybody was talking about it, it's in the media, it's in the news, whatever, right? So when Finding Nemo came out, you know, I remember I got caught up in that hype, and I was like, everybody's talking about this movie about this damn fish, so I gotta go see it. So I went and saw it, and I thought it was fine. You know what I mean? It wasn't terrible, but it was fine, and I never watched it again, never planned to watch it again.
Yeah, I used the same criteria for mine. The reason I picked Toy Story 2 is because I just saw it like overtook Paddington as like the highest rated movie on Rotten Tomatoes. And I just didn't understand why. I mean, I think it's not as good as the other 3 movies. Like, I like the part about the, Jessie was her name, I think, right? That whole thing, the song, that was a good montage and everything. But just the movie as a whole just didn't hit me that hard. It felt too similar to the first movie.
I'll talk a bit more about just Dory, and I remember seeing it. Nemo was such a great story. It had like a nice arc, and you know, it's just visually stunning. It just looked good all over. But for me, like the reason I didn't like Dory as much, the sequel didn't live up to the original, and I felt like the jokes were really weak.
I just feel like out of all of ours, like the other movies that we chose, Finding Dory is kind of the least like. I don't think it's overrated. I think it's just like kind of irrelevant, to be completely honest.
True.
Like Finding Nemo, I understand like how you can say that's overrated, but like personally, I never saw Finding Dory. Like, I don't know anybody who's actually seen that movie. Like, and I have a 10-year-old sister, and like none of her friends ever talked to me about that. So I kind of feel like it's just not even rated. I don't even know if you can call it overrated.
I forgot that movie like existed, honestly.
All right, so now vote for the person you think should be eliminated based on that round.
So I just want to start off by saying that you guys are all delightful, and this has been a lot of fun talking about everything we talked about today. That being said, I did choose Alex.
That was James.
Yeah.
Oh, was that James?
Yeah.
Which was Finding Dory? Okay, sorry. So Finding Dory. Sorry.
I also went for James.
Yeah, I said Shayna, Toy Story 4.
Yeah, I voted for James.
Yeah,
all right, James, you made it to the end of the show.
After I picked it, I started to realize that maybe I should have chosen something else. But it was fun. I enjoyed it. Yeah.
James has been eliminated, so that means at the end of day 1 of the season 1 CINEMAWARS Battle Royale, our remaining survivors are Lucky Boy Reviews at the number 12 spot, who will be coming back.
Late.
The number 11 entrant, Alex Holmes.
Only had to do 2 rounds.
The number 9 entrant, surviving, 3-4 rounds, Shayna Bratz. And our MVP at the number 4 spot, the Quick Critic.
No, it's awesome. I've historically performed very poorly in these things, so it's nice to actually sort of maybe kind of do well.
So these remaining survivors will come back for day 2 of the Battle Royale to try to remain in the competition, try to survive till the end. That was day 1, very intense round of competition. What stood out to you?
Yeah, that was crazy. Quick Critic, really.
Oh my
goodness.
goodness.
Like, amazing. He's doing way better than he's ever done.
He's been on 3 shows before in the League of Cinephiles, in the 2 CINEMAWARS shows. He didn't really exactly stand out because, again, he got eliminated very early on those competitions. This is his match. This should not be called the CINEMAWARS Battle Royale. It should be called the Quick Critic Battle Royale. Number 4 entrant, outlasting both Brando Critic, who also, mind you, did very well, and Dave, who is the number 1 entrant. Quick Critic, even with that Pixar question, which he was clearly uncomfortable with because, again, he wanted horror, he wanted action, that type of stuff, but making it till the end. Lucky Boy Shayna, Alex, what are you thinking out of the 3 of them as well?
Shayna's made it, I think, like 4 rounds, so I could see her going really far. We're going to have a lot of heavy hitters in day 2.
Oh my God. If you think day 1 was bad, just wait for day 2. So that's going to do it, guys, for the end. Day 1, not the end of the entire Battle Royale, the end of day 1 of the CINEMAWARS Battle Royale. If you haven't already, please like the video, subscribe, hit that bell icon, and get notified on all our latest simulated competition. All the links to everyone's accounts will be in the description below. Thank you for watching. Ciao.